Hello and welcome back to another episode of Sidburg City in City Skylines. Today we're gonna take a look at this area, play some more residential zones here, and of course continue expanding this city. So let's first start by taking a look at this area. It's been rural for not too long, but it should be fine to already start making this more urbanized. Now I already have some quite fine farm fields here, so I'm gonna try to keep them for as long as possible. Instead I'm going to make this small road here and put it along the side so that I can sort of fill in this whole farm area with houses. This should be good. Some areas here have quite a bit too much of a turn, so I'll try to make these a bit smoother. I'm just making these marks around so I can easily remove a small piece around each of these turns. If I now go around here, you can see it should be equally distant from the intersection. So there we go. Just fill it in all these places. That looks good. And now I can start filling in some more houses or tiny roads. Just gonna connect that one. Now we have this huge, what can I call it? It's not a ring road, but sort of like a marking around it, I guess. Around the new residential zone. So now that that is good, I can start expanding more with these roads. It shouldn't be too hard. Some are a bit close, so that could cause some issues, but shouldn't be too much. I'm trying not to connect too many of these tiny roads to each other. Having them separate can be quite useful, actually. Helps reduce the traffic flowing through. That's good. I can start filling in with some low density houses now. You can see here it's quite a big fire, so that might cause some issues, but it will probably solve itself out eventually. Now I could actually turn on some rain. That should help. And if I just keep expanding here, of course there will be some issues with fire, but it should be fine as long as I keep a fine amount of fire stations nearby. This helps to decrease the fire rate, obviously. So there you go, plenty more sun for hoses. Could have some more water pipes here. And a bit there. That should work. That should work just fine. And now I need some more industry again. So I'm gonna do that right now actually. Let's see over here. The fire seems to have stopped, so I can turn down the rain again and start looking for some area to build on. Turn it to daytime as well. Check the height. Okay, so this is quite flat. A little bit of a slope coming from this area, but it should work quite fine still. It's not a lot more than it's here, so you can see it's a lot actually. So it's a lot flat. Very flat. So let's start by expanding the 4-lane roads all the way to the end of this road, all the way to the end of the map. Okay, so this is the end. I can expand how many lanes here. And also I should restrict how they drive so they don't take U-turns immediately. To make this a little bit sharper, I should help a bit, increase the flow. There you go. And uncheck these so that they can actually fill in the interchange. You don't have to wait for it to clear. Now there's a nice 4-lane road. You can see there's fences around. It's not normal, but it's because I have built it in elevated mode. So this is basically a elevated road, but it's really close to the ground, so it looks normal. If I elevate this more now, you'll see there's even holes underneath. Okay, so now that's done, I can start expanding some industry here. Build a few connections. That should be enough for now. Maybe make this turn here a bit nicer, like usually. That works. And here as well. Much better. Now I can try and smooth out the terrain inside here, just to make the roads more even. And also build some roads inside here. I'm gonna use this one. It doesn't look too bad in industrial zones. But actually I'm gonna use a different kind of street lights. This one, I like that one, looks good. So I'm gonna use that one for now, or actually that's a double one, so if I find the sodium one in single, that would be okay, but I guess it's not there, so I'll just use this one, make some straight lines here. There you go, and I could also change the angle there a bit, so it doesn't look too small in this area. So that's that, and now I can add some different roads, one-way roads. I use these quite a bit in industrial zones. That should be nice. Now if I just fill in with some industry, that should be perfectly fine. I don't need to have it on this edge here. I can just try to keep it on the inside, like I've done here. And of course they need water as well, so I'll just do that right away. There. Now these have water. and remove some trees that's unnecessary. Okay, so they should actually have started building already, but it seems they are kind of lacking the value in these areas. So I'll have to do something about that. A park could help quite a bit. So let's take a look and see what kind of parks fit in here. A simple parking lot will do a lot of help as well. In fact, I could just add some in each of these blocks. This should help a lot. Again, if you have seen my previous streams, these parking lots actually increase the land value a lot. Now they should have water, attractiveness, power. Everything should be okay. We'll see how it goes. Maybe it gets a little bad on traffic eventually. And these traffic lights are easy to remove. Don't need them there. So there you go. It seems the industry is thriving here quite easily. Didn't take too long. I could also make this sort of outside road that connects to this one, like that, just to kind of have their own road for the city connection. You see, this road is so far away, so they will never use that one to go this way. But these two are quite less easy to determine where they go, so they'll probably use these roads for going both that way and that way. But now that they have this road, they should probably use this road for only going that way and this road for only going that way. And that should help increase the traffic flow eventually. I might need to add some shops here. You can see here I have pretty high commercial demand at the moment. I'm gonna go and turn off weather and the die cycle. I get quite annoyed when the day turns all the time and shifts weather and just kind of gets in the way. So sometimes I turn that off when I'm building. Like now, for example. So that seems to be working fine. They have built quite a few houses here as well. The airport is functioning. They didn't build too many factories here. I wish they'd build more, like fill out the entire area. That would be quite neat. Traffic here isn't the best, as you can see. Could add a roundabout. Would actually be quite a good idea. So I'm just going to try that first. Something like that. Now I'll just have to work a bit on this interchange. Remove the traffic lights here. This should help. Now they have these dedicated lanes. It's not really a roundabout, but it should still help a bit. I hope at least. So I can make these lanes forced to go straight ahead and these to go only this way. It should help a lot. We'll just wait and see. It did for that road at least. I'm not sure for this path. May have made it even more worse actually. Or is it just right now? I'm not sure. If I disable lane changing, maybe that helps. I'm sort of confused about this whole interchange here. It should work, but it doesn't seem to work. So, something strange there. Might actually just have to remove some interchanges. That can help. In a lot of cases it does. Not necessarily in this one, but I think it will. Oops. So, now this is basically a roundabout. It doesn't seem too round. I can fix that as well. Now you can probably see it a bit better. But I'm not trying to make it too round, because then I had to brake so much to enter it. So this is sort of like a straightforward road. They go straight ahead, and if you want to get up there, they have to brake a bit more. But it should work. So now there's a traffic light here, we will just have to remove that. I could also increase the amount of lanes on these two. This should work perfectly fine eventually. It might look a bit strange right now. But it should be fine. Sometimes you just have to make the roundabout bigger so they have more space to wait on. Or cars coming in different directions. Well, it seems to work. I'll take a look at that later. Now I'm going to expand more over here. Make a small side road here. I could connect it on the top, in fact, but I'm not sure how that's gonna look. Let's just take a look and see it. Okay. Probably a bit too bad site here. If I try to remove the hill, that could help. Okay, so let's take a look now. Yeah, that's better. You can clearly see where the traffic is coming now. It might be a bit too steep here. Could fix that a bit. But this is just a small road, so That shouldn't be too much of a concern. Move the trees a bit away. There you go. Okay, so now it's up again at the level it was before. So I'll have to make sure that looks good again. Actually, I could just use that slope tool. That should be a bit easier. The roads doesn't always just curve wherever the nodes are, so it can be hard to make it work when you have it originally placed on a different kind of terrain. So therefore you sometimes have to just do this. That should be okay. Now I can add another road from this point. I'm gonna use a bit of this. This is a more street-like road. But the most unique feature with it, which I usually like it for, is parking. This road has on-street parking compared to many other roads which doesn't. So that helps a lot. Now I can add houses on top here. These people should have a quite nice view over much of the city. If we take a look here, we can probably see that. Okay, so there's a lot of trees right now. I'll remove them. Let's try now and see. Okay, that didn't work at all, so I'll just have to remove more trees here. Let's see now. Okay, here there's still quite a bit of blockage from the trees. This is a fair view. It's not too high up, so it's not really that much to expect. Over here there could be some more. Nah, I can expect there's quite a nice view up here though. So that should be a good place to reach eventually. I'll just go up like this, step by step, and eventually I'll reach all the way up there, which was the plan all along, actually. They aren't really building, so I'll need to add a playground. There you go. That should help. I could also add some paths between here. These paths should help transport citizens on foot. There you go. Bit of a strange edge there. I should fix that. Should fix that right now. Okay, still, it's pretty steep, so I guess you can say it's for pedestrians only, and not for cyclists. But it's not gonna work like that in City Skylines. They'll just use it anyways. And I can't really restrict them from doing it, so it should be fine. Might look a bit strange, but we'll have to see that later. And here you can see how steep the road actually is. It's quite steep. This 4-lane road has a more even turn. Doesn't go too rapid down here. Try and smooth out the terrain here a bit. I like the textures in this color tech, or what was it called? Color correction. Yeah, it seems the roundabout is working. It hasn't been collapsed yet. Or should I say stuck? That's better probably. I guess now it's time to make a better seafront. I feel like that would be a good idea. So then I just have to first make a road here, I guess. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna fix it into the into the seawall here. That could work. It could work actually. Not really. It was better like that. And I'm thinking I'm just gonna replace some part of this with high density and fill in some high density here as well. I'm not really sure where I'm gonna put these sewage cleaners, clarifiers. They might be of an issue in the future. I can clearly see how these don't look the best, especially when you're right inside this neighborhood. So that's not good. There's not really that much options here. There's this island. I could put the sewage clarifiers there, but I kind of want to use that for other things as well. So that wouldn't be the best idea. I could put them over here if I just flatten some terrain, but it's quite steep, so it might look strange. Let's try out here and see how it will look. Yeah, that's a bit strange, probably. It might look a bit more natural if I smoothen the terrain out a bit. Try and make these levels along here, and then use the smoother. There you go. Yeah, that doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna go with that. So, okay, that's a bit larger than I expected. I can see that now. I'll have to make this a bit bigger, apparently. Something like that. Could that work? Probably. And now I'll just have to add some roads. First wait for water. Wait until the water is gone. Shouldn't take too long. Okay, so that's good. If I know just find these sewage things again and place them like this all the way, I could actually copy some of these. There you go, and I don't need this ending right here, so that should be good. And if I now just copy the entire thing, I should soon have a nice sewage facility again. Okay, the last one was a bit too much maybe. Should remove that one. Anyways, now I have placed quite a few of these, and they should probably be capable of replacing the other sewage pipes very soon. Then I can start filling in with some nice apartments where the sewage area was. I'm just gonna use the movie tool right now. Try and make the road as equal as possible to the sewage clarifier. There you go. Remove the trees. Could actually use the brush. That's good. Now I just have to connect them all. This might take a while. There you go. And connected. Now it's connected. Okay, so it's still a bit less. I can see that now. I'll have to see how much I can do here. If I remove these now. How much sewage availability will there be? Okay, so that's too low apparently. I need a lot more. Or is it just that it's not enough electricity? Let's see now. Yeah, that could work. I'll need some more water facilities. One here. So there you go. Stable again and moved away from the residential zone. Great piece of land I can now use for whatever I like. I'm gonna use it for high density residential zone. Here you go. That works as well. I want to use some smaller roads inside the area here, but first I'm going to make a small, or it's not the smallest road I have. This is a more medium-sized road. I'm gonna have that on the back there, and in between here I'm gonna have high density. And then I'm going to have some tiny roads on the back here. And these I'm going to use to fill in with some low density. That should be good. Now I can start filling in here with some high density. I'm not going to fill it completely though. I want some open areas as well, so the low density homeowners can get some view of the ocean as well. And now I'm just going to fill in this. Have some shops. mostly low density here to get the kind of American suburb look. It's not really what I'm specifically looking for. But American suburbs usually have lots of low density houses. In Europe it's more normal to have high density, or at least lots of apartments. But this is sort of a mix, I guess. The road style or road network, I guess. It's shaped more like a European city with these organic curves. However, European cities have a tendency to have more apartments. So, yeah, it's sort of a mix. It's not really one of them specifically, again. You can also see if I show you the entire city here, there's a nice mix between these kinds as well. Here I have a sort of more American or English type of city building. Here it's more American, and out in these areas and this area it's more European. And by that, of course, English is European, but England has some unique qualities which the rest of Europe doesn't have. So I like to make these distinctions clear. Also, it kind of makes sense since England is isolated on its own island. It didn't have to follow everyone else as much. So yeah, England is still pretty unique in its architecture. They have the London clay as well, which is also very unique. I'm not sure if they use that in their entire country actually, or if it's just in London. But I'm pretty sure they use it all around the country. So that's pretty cool as well. Okay, so this looks a bit strange, I can see that. So I'll just remove the industry on the outer edge to make it more compact. if you compare this one to this one, you can see it looks better when there's no industry spot in the wall, so they're better when they're closed in within a specific perimeter. There seems to be some issues, I don't know why, but the demand is apparently low on almost everything. It's a bit higher on commercial, but in general it's just really low, so I'll just try and increase that to maximum on everything and see how that affects the demand. Because then they should start building a lot everywhere, and when the demand has dropped again, it should look a bit different. At least one of them should be higher than the other. Well, that's my theory at least. I'm not sure completely if it's going to work. Yeah, they're building a lot faster here. This industrial area is expanding very fast. It's probably time I add a bus line for this area, because a lot of people live there now. So that's good. Add a stop there. Another one here. Here. One here. So now they're driving through the neighborhood, so that's not good. That's better. And now I can come down here and add a few bus stops here. This should let them. This should let them get to work easier and to the city center easier also. Just add the exact same bus line on the other side of the road, and eventually complete the line. I'm gonna try and find that line and see if I can remove that. There seems to be some glitch with it. Okay, so it's this one. Just remove that line. Seems to be some issues with it. Not really sure where it went exactly. Could be I just use this line to compensate for losing that line. Like that. That should work. Let's see here. That's a bus stop. We're already starting to collect up here, so seems it wasn't the worst idea. I could add some fertile land here, so it looks more like a farm field. I don't think that's such a bad idea. And also here. There you go. Some more places. Could have some here. Nah, looks strange. Here. So that's good now. From all the farm fields have fertile land in them. Let's take a look here again. See how the industrial zone is going. That looks good. And the demand is low again, but industrial demand seems to be a bit higher. Yeah, industrial and commercial. they're still pretty much at the same level, so I'm not sure what to do. Could just fix them on top for a while. That could work. And fill in this area. I think I should have offices here. It seems like a good idea. In fact, I could just make a distinction between residential and offices with this road, like that. And if I now add some houses here, that should be good. No, that's the end of the whole residential zone. That's gonna be up here. And then it's just easy to add quite a few offices here, which of course fits with this area, which has a lot of offices as well, which also was kind of before. Just continue the office zone on the other side of the river. And I could also fill in here. I mean, it's kind of empty, so filling it in doesn't make it worse, at least. It looks kind of good when it's compact. That should help. They all have water. And the zone demand is on full, so we should start building quite fast now. If we just zoom out, we can take a look at the entire city for a few seconds while it's building. Lots of life in this city here. Cars driving, people riding bikes. There's always something happening here. Let's take a look now and see how that helps. Yeah, that helped quite a bit. They have many offices here now. I could add some paths here so they can be connected to the yards on the back side here, like that. Add some paths around. And add some trees. This should help a lot. Trees always make it look better. Well, at least almost always. That looks okay. Now they have their own connection to the playground. We can easily get to that. I could also add a small path up here. Walkability is quite important. We always want them to prefer walking instead of using their car. When they use their car, it makes traffic worse. That should be good. The roundabout is still a bit messy, but it helped a lot on the traffic coming this way. Unless that was good all along. Yeah, I could increase to 4 lanes. I'm not sure what good that's gonna do, but maybe some at least. And I could also decrease that to 4 lanes. And remove the traffic light, of course. We don't want traffic lights in roundabouts. Not this one at least. And to make the traffic better here, I could also oops, missed that. I could try and remove that interchange, making this a bit easier to connect with. And now there's a traffic light here again. This should work. It doesn't seem like it for now, but I guess I'll just wait and see. Might also just fix that as well. There you go. That should be good. It might take some time, but it should work eventually. I could also add a small access route here. It goes out to the highway. I'll just have to make sure they can enter this without having to brake too much, because that would ruin the traffic flow. So that could work, and also we'll have to increase the speed limit here from 40 to, well, let's say 100 for now. I think most cars on the highway will drive in that speed. You can already see they're using this one, so that should relieve a lot of traffic from this area. I just hope not everyone is going to use this one, because that's gonna be problematic as well. I could use a traffic light here. And of course I'd have to decrease the speed limit a bit. Let's say 80. Just so the traffic can enter and exit here easily without having to cross each other all the time, because that seemed to cause some issues. And there's not too much to have a traffic light either, so it should work just fine. It's probably a bit weird to have a traffic light on a highway. I don't think that's technically legal even, because you're not supposed to stop on highways. So I guess it's kind of weird, but you're not really on the main highway yet, so it should be fine. When they're here, it's more of a problem to have a traffic light. And I'm going to disable lane changing here, so they will just have to drive straight forward, because it seems it's causing a bit trouble for these as well, that they are crossing each other all the time, like that. Strange. They just keep doing it. And now all the traffic is going this way, which is exactly what I didn't want them to do. I wanted them to spread out a bit, but apparently that's not an option. How strange. Well, I guess it kind of isn't as well. It's much closer to just drive that way. Oh, and now that they have cleared this road and barely anyone at all uses that, it seems as though it's almost unnecessary to have a traffic light here. So that's something. They don't seem to enjoy driving this route anymore. They're all looking to drive this route. What can I do about that? Maybe remove this, but then that traffic is going to be horrible again. Or just actually increase the amount of lanes, because that always helps. Replace this with a normal interchange. How does that work? One-way road here. I doubt that's useful. Maybe this should work better. Not completely symmetrical. You can see that. But should probably work at least. It is sort of like a roundabout with a underneath tunnel for cars going the other way. I should also force these to take the same route, only that way, and these should only go that way. Much better. And maybe the lighting's very good. So have that. Doesn't seem like the automatically created crossing works too good. I'll have to make it timed, I guess. So first it's green there and green there. 5 to 10 seconds. Then it's green there and red there. This should work better. This never really had to be red, I guess. Yeah, it seems to be working. The traffic isn't the best here, but it should clear itself up right now. could also continue this one like that and make it connect here. I wouldn't say that's too bad of an idea. Yeah, it's slowly clearing up at least. It might be that we're going to use this one a lot right now. But actually, I do want to see this one a bit more curved like that. But not like that. Something like that. That's a lot better. Now they don't have to take that insane turn when they get to that point. Strange. So I somehow managed to disconnect the power grid. Let's see now. Okay, that's better. All connected now. Traffic is fine, I guess. Not the best. I guess it's normal to have some areas with bad traffic as well. I mean, this isn't perfect exactly. I could improve, yeah. I just have to change this, so this one is lasting for a lot longer than the other one. Basically that means they will have more green here than this will. Unless I forgot to activate it. Okay, I activated it. Maybe a bit bad traffic here now. Not really sure how I'm gonna fix this anymore. I'm gonna add a road here now, which helps traffic flow, especially for the buses. You can see now they don't have to exit here and enter there. They can just go straight between. Oh, I can add another line of road up here. It seems we're using this area for transporting goods, so I'll make that clear from now on. By setting a district policy that denies them from using that area as transportation. Just use the old town, that works. And now I can start adding some more houses here on top of this road once again. Now let's just take a moment here and watch this all grow. Shouldn't take too long. I've already maxed out the demand, so it should actually grow pretty fast now. Okay, so they're building now, and that's good. I could also add a path up here now that there's no houses. I will later connect that to the next road up here. It's growing up nicely here, and I could add a large playground. A couple of them. For some stupid reason, they seem to be using the road on the side for transporting goods, which is quite frankly very stupid. So I'll just disable cargo vehicles right there, and here. That's good. Now they can't drive here with their goods. They'll have to use this road instead. That works just fine. There's a lot of vehicles. Vehicles all over here. What? Oh, I'm inside it. Oh, of course, I see. The first person thing doesn't always work. Kind of sad, but it's not something I use too much anyway, so. Okay, so let's add another line here now. That's good. Connect these and have them go a little further up. I could also add some sidewalks here along the path so they can easily cross the roads. But that's not necessary. That's good. Add a few more houses here. All along the line. That should be just fine. Follow it down here. And as usual, they need water. I could put some playground up here as well. I'm gonna use a few small ones. That seems to work. road here is starting to get a bit wavy. Might have to fix that. I'm not sure how. Maybe if I use this. Yeah, that helped a bit. It's not too unusual for the roads to get a bit wavy when you connect them like that from a slopey road. The intersections always has to be flat for some reason in City Skylines. So if you're trying to make some sort of off-ramp and it's a little bit of a slope, you get this weird bulges in the road because the interchange as always is forced to be flattened out. I think you can quite clearly see that here, for example. And here at least. It shouldn't be too much of a problem until you come and find some really steep area you want to build in. That might cause some issues. I think this area is getting quite nicely along this wavy shape, sort of. Doesn't look too bad, in my opinion. Should probably increase the size of this district a bit. That should work. Oops. I was hoping something like this would help the traffic a bit. Quite a bit less interchanges. It should always help a bit. Extend this one could help us also. It's just on the edge of not working and working. So it's sort of working, I guess. I should also fill in these gaps from the roads, which are now gone, of course. It's not always such a good idea to fill in the main roads with small offices and such. Sometimes it causes traffic issues because the The industry always wants to go deliver goods there, and that makes the traffic stop. It seems it's working, so I guess I'll build a fire station there. Maybe a bit strange. I have one there, there, and there. Is it time to add another road here then? Could cut it a bit further up and curve it down here like that instead. And as usual, follow the curve. You can see it's starting to get this sort of weird shape here, so I'm going to try and make that a little weaker here and slowly make that go off in a straight line. Okay, so they choose to have a bridge here for some strange reason, so I'm just going to go around that instead. That should work. I'm going to end the road about here from now on. You can see how I started to eat up the farm fields as well, so that's not too good. You want to keep some of these always, if you want the city to look kind of realistic. It will always be strange if there's plenty of space around and nothing is used when it can be. So use the space well. If you don't want houses, just have these farm fields instead. These were actually built already into the map, so I don't have to make all of them. I made some here, for example. But I think it's nice to have some of these around. Makes the city get a little more life, I guess. Which is nice. I should make a district here as well. Strange I haven't done that yet. And of course a airport district. The airport is really big actually. Runways might be a bit excessive. Could have them a bit smaller. That should work. Oh, and there's no district here either. Oh, strange. That should be good. There's many districts, small and big. This one is sort of a odd shape. I can see that. I actually thought this was a different district, but apparently not. Oh, and now they seem to be missing some water here, so I'm just gonna fix that. And then I can start adding another line again. Well, first I'm going to add a small playground here. I try to encourage big families here, so I just want as much playgrounds as possible to have these more family-like neighborhoods. I tend to think the inner city is more for single people, and then I put more effort into making the suburbs and rural areas for families. So this is sort of a rural area, and I'm gonna use some time to have low density houses here and make sure a lot of families live here. The families should always be the happiest ones, at least statistically, but I'm not sure if that works in this game. I just like to bring that up in here, so kind of fun to take in real life factors into this, even though they don't matter. So now I can continue the path up here. And of course I will have to make some pedestrian crossings. I could add some here and there, so that's done. Great, and now let's add a few more of these playgrounds. One here, one here, one here. That should be good. Now I can just add some water pipes so they can have water. That's good. I think this is getting quite nicely along, as I said. Doesn't look too bad. I may add another path from this. Like that. And down here. That should be good. You can see how these are kind of curved towards each other, so this area is kind of empty paths to connect, so it's not too bad, but kind of a big distance here to walk. So we should try to make these spread out again more eventually. Okay, so let's take a look here and see what kind of view you can get from this point. I think that looks pretty good. I also kind of like that it's covered up with trees around. Makes it feel kind of cozy. You don't feel so naked when you know, surrounded by trees. It can also be a bit too much, but I think this is good. You don't feel too open from being viewed on from this area, I guess. I'm gonna add a small alternative path here that goes more this way. That should be good. In fact, it's probably a bit too much here, so I can instead move it that way. That's good. Works fine. Oh, and of course I have to add pedestrian crossings as well. I knew it was something for that over here. It's not really necessary, but you know, otherwise they would be moving all around here, so I think that's pretty much a waste of walking. They aren't that much of a genius in this game. They don't know when they can cross the road without a pedestrian crossing. But it's a game, you know, so you can't really expect full realism, obviously. There you go. That's a nice hillside home area. Let's now take a look and see what kind of people live there. So you can see it's almost only families, which is exactly what we wanted. There's some elderly here. Some of these houses are quite small, so that's probably why there's some places here with only adults. But I think it's pretty good. It's what I wanted, mostly families. Here is a bit worse. There's a lot of single people here, apparently. Or not single, they are couples, or, well, it doesn't really tell actually. It's adults, can be single or not. these purples just mean adults, so people without children. The green one is best, keeps the population up. So I guess I need some houses that can hold more people or something like that. Let's take a look here and add the international team. Okay, you can see they're already starting to upgrade the houses. So you can expect these Finnish type housing to be extinct in a few minutes. The level will increase though, so more people can move in, and I think that's gonna make more families here, which is good. These high density buildings obviously doesn't have too many families. You can see some of these have mostly families, but it's quite rare compared to the low density. Here it's actually quite common, strangely. I wish it was less random. I don't really want families living in these houses. That's not good. I don't want them to live there. That's for students and single people, you know. I don't want families packed inside these apartments. That's not good. The children, they need a proper childhood. I'd want them to grow up somewhere here, that's better. You know, I'd much rather live here than in this high density area. But both is still necessary. There's always gonna be some poor people, and therefore you can't expect everyone to afford these kind of buildings. Which is why you always need a combination of both. The poor people always need to have an option. They can't live on the streets, you know. That's not good for them. So, yeah. Actually, I think I'm gonna take a look around here and see if I find a place I'd like to live, like with my family. So this area is definitely too packed. I'd never want to live there. Too much traffic, too much noise. This area as well. There's not a lot of nature here. It's quite fine, but still it's not as good as the other areas around here. So I'd rather live somewhere along that. This area is quite nice actually. It's not too dense. I could live on some farm here. That would be really nice. This area is quite far from the city, but it's still quite compact, so you could expect some noise. Here as well, the houses are pretty packed together. There's a lot of space, so I guess that's kind of strange. I don't know why I did that. Here, it's a very good view from this place. You can see like the entire city, especially from up here. It's even better here. So this place would be kind of nice, I guess. Would be hard to drive up here in the winter, so that's not too good. Yeah, there's some nice places here though, like for example this, or this place. That's kind of, you know, alone, I guess. It's not really a nice view here. It's kind of hidden beneath this hill, but feels kind of cozy, I guess, inside this area. So that will be one option. Here maybe? Somewhere on the edge here. This house would have to be large though. So this one. Have this nice beach here. All the container ships in the background. Beautiful ships spilling tons of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Perfectly fine. Yeah, maybe something different. Could pick a site and build a house as well. I'd really like to live somewhere like here. That would be really beautiful. Have this lake, could fish, you know, fish your own greenery. Maybe take a trip every day to work through this route. And the airport is close as well, so maybe that could be my job. But let's not get too carried away here. I was supposed to find a house, not a job. So, yeah. Most places are pretty dense. This area is one of the most rural, or I guess spread out. So that's quite nice. This would be a nice place. Have this old car. Pretty cool asset, by the way. And yeah, that would be one option. Let me see what else. I definitely enjoy living in this ring here. Or well, it's not a ring exactly, but it's kind of cool still. I think I'd live quite happily in one of these houses. Maybe not too far down here since there's a lot of industry. But there's a lot of jobs here. Again, I'm not gonna talk too much about the jobs right now. Uh, Somewhere inside here could be fine. It's quite dense again, so it's not really something I'd recommend. It all depends on who you are as well. Lots of people like to live in these areas, I guess. Have shops close and everything. And there's this area as well. You can probably see they have a lot of cars here. Most don't belong to the households, so but it still looks pretty, strange. Looks like a really rich family this. Have 10 cars outside their house. Get to pick one for each day of the week, almost. Could have like 5 cars yourself and 5 cars for your wife. This seems like a quite nice area. Not sure I'd live here though. Very open. The highway right beside. Actually, one house has been disappeared here. Has disappeared. There you go, that's better. Move this a little further away. Want some front yard. That's good. Oh, and here as well. Yeah. So what other areas? There's this. That's quite nice. Still pretty compact. This area. This is also one of the most spread out areas. Even though it's quite compact still. So, I don't know. I haven't really thought too much about how it looks on the ground. But it's a quite smart technique. You should try it once. It works in a way that you first pick a site. For example, if I now am in this area, I just find the most attractive place on the whole landscape and I'd make my own, kind of like dream house. And from that point, I could, place a few buildings there. And if you do that, it should eventually look kind of realistic. It takes a lot of time though. And you also have to consider things like how much it would cost. You can't, have a dirt road go half across the city. You'd most likely build your house close to a already existing road. And you can kind of try out that kind of stuff and eventually find out how it looks. And eventually, fill in with more houses on that road. So you can have this storyline sort of. More houses grow and the entire area becomes dense. And then there's new areas where people want to live, so they kind of choose to not to live out here or something. And so the rural areas continue to expand out here, and eventually they get more and more dense, and then they're not rural anymore. And so yeah, that's a pretty cool technique you can use to find realistic neighborhoods and stuff like that. You can also use it for other buildings. You can, for example, imagine where a business and temperature would most likely want to place their shops. You know, if I was a business owner, I wouldn't want to have my shop far away out here. I'd most likely want to have it close to a road so it's visible, maybe close to some houses. So stuff like that, you can always try to think about what people would actually want in a realistic manner. Can be hard in some cases, and again it takes some time, so if you want to play for a more well, what can I say, if you want to play for making your city large, then that wouldn't work for too long. Again, I barely used this technique in this city, but it's quite a nice technique. Especially since I now just realized that almost none of the areas in this city is something I actually want to live in. So, you know what, I'm actually gonna create my dream house in this city right now. Or, I guess you can say, dream home. Would that make more sense? So, I'm gonna choose a nice area. This is quite nice actually. There's a beach along here. But the problem here is that it's not that big. It's quite a steep beach, at least along here. And the mountainside kind of occupies most of the area, so you can't really have a big house there. This area is mostly built out, so there's not really a lot of options there either. If you think of a realistic perspective, it would be quite expensive to build a house in these areas as well. So if you want a big house, I would probably build somewhere out in the country. This area is quite dense. Could build somewhere here, actually. Maybe somewhere along this lake. That would be really nice, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So you can already see there's a prefix road here. That was already planned for houses, but they weren't finished, I guess. So I'll just add some houses here to make that look more okay. Not trying to make it too dense. This is one of the least densest area again. Even though it's quite one of the least dense areas. I must admit it's pretty dense. You can see how close the houses are, even though it's supposed to be a really rural area. So I'm gonna continue a small road. I'm gonna choose gravel for the sake of the economy, and just slowly move that along here. This road would probably cost a lot of money, but it could work. Let's say I have a lot of money. So it goes here, and then it sort of just stops here along the sea line here. Or, well, it's not a sea, it's a lake, so lakeside, I guess. Trying to make the forest a little bit less dense here. Keep some of the trees. That should work. We have a nice garden up here. You know what, I'm gonna use that tree brush tool. It's easier. So let's say the whole plot area for, you know, well, I guess it's called something else than plot, I think. I just somehow imagined it was a different wood for some strange reason. Anyways, I was just gonna say that I'm gonna mark this plot around here in this area. Use some small brushes. Let's see here if we can do this. That seems to work. Maybe a bit bigger distance. Still a bit bigger. That works. Bit more blocked in, I guess. That should work. This is probably a bit strange, so I'm just gonna remove this and let the natural edge kind of, you know, go into the lake here. This is a really big block, I realize that. Could probably decrease the size a bit. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let's see here. I'm gonna use this one again, and I think it was 5 meters, or was it 4? So about there, that should be better. And then I have to fill in here with some trees again. That shouldn't take too long. There we go. Trees. Add some forest road here maybe. It's not really a road, but can imagine it was, so this is the remains from it. And now let's add the house. Okay, so it's this one or this one. I'm gonna go with this one. Or, yeah, I don't like how the terrain follows the house. Should be more you know, adaptive, I guess. I guess that works. Doesn't have to be too close. Can add some road here to the house, kind of. And of course we need some garden here. So let's add some trees. And now we can play around a bit with the bushes as well. Just gonna add some of these trees first. They're quite nice. So Yeah, bushes. Let's see here. I'm gonna use this one again. Try and make some farm-like things here. Maybe a bit too close. That looks cool. Nice garden. And what else? Can add some smaller bushes. I don't know. Maybe one of these trees. Just gonna add a few more here to make it look more natural, I guess. And remove some bushes there, so that the forest road looks more realistic. Could also, in fact, connect this a bit. So that it really becomes a forest road. There we go. That's pretty cool. And I'm gonna add some parking place here of gravel. That should be fine. I'm gonna try to move this a bit. That's good. And yeah, there's also the props. I can look for some things to detail with here. Okay, that's not what I was going to add. Yeah, there's these playground things that would be nice to have. Something like that. Yeah, what else? Fence. Do I need a fence here? Should have a fence around the garden. That's all. Otherwise, I don't really see a reason to have a fence. in this area here. I could have a fence around the property, kind of like this. That doesn't look too bad. Remove the last few of these. Doesn't handle the slope too well apparently. And some of these maybe. That doesn't look too bad. Have a few hedges here. Maybe. There's a lot of crops here apparently. I think it's because of the buildings I've downloaded. They required a lot of crops. Let's see here. Add some flowers here. That looks nice. What else? Oh, a car, of course. We need a car. Not sure how this is going to fit in here. I'll have to try and move it a bit down. Okay, that worked actually. There we go. Could have another one. This isn't going to be completely perfect. They're going to be a bit elevated, but it doesn't show from above, so that should be okay. Also, I think I'm going to rotate this actually, and move them over here. Was kind of hard actually. I'm gonna move this away for now. So these cars should be standing. Well, you know, it could actually just stand like this. Would make more sense, I guess. Oh no, let's see here. I will probably need that mod for moving, rotating things in all directions now. I didn't think I'd need that, but now it seems I do. Pretty smart mod actually, now that I think of it. Can get pretty cool details, I imagine. I don't know for sure, I haven't tried it, so... Oh, and I could also have a fence here for some animals, or nah. I'm gonna keep away from that for now. Animals are quite expensive, so I wouldn't imagine me having them in the future anyway. Signs. Well, there's not usually so many signs on private roads, so I could keep away from that. Well, I think that's done now. I think it came out pretty cool actually. And yeah, now I'm going to name it as well. Toby's house. Great! Let's see what else there's to do. Well, actually, you know what? It's getting a bit late, so yeah. I think I'm gonna call it off for now. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate a subscription from you. Also, don't you dare dislike this video, I will be really mad. Kidding, you can do whatever you want. But yeah, just leave a comment or whatever you want. I don't really mind. Getting hate is no problem for me. Yeah. Goodbye everyone.